Hey guys, Jonathan Graham here. Today I'll be showing you my latest design, which is this right here. This is a box. This is my Four of Hearts box. You can see it's called the Four of Hearts because you have four hearts around the outside. This is from one uncut square of paper. This is a 6-inch square of duo paper, the size we'll be making today. Here's one I made from larger paper that's duo paper with a pattern on one side. The hearts show up fairly well if you have a good contrast. This is the bottom, it's actually a star shape. And here's from a 10-inch square. This one looks nice. This is pink 10-inch square Origami. We'll be using a 6-inch square, so we'll be making a box this size. So this is how I make the Four of Hearts box, my latest design. Start with a square, and if you have a side with a white side, you want the white side facing up for the inside. This is duo paper. I want the green to be on the inside since I want the outside to be pink. So I'm going to have the green facing up. Whatever side you want the interior of your box to be face up when you start. So you're going to fold your square diagonally in half both directions. Now we're going to fold it in half horizontally and vertically. Basically just finding the center and then putting in some preliminary creases. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the sides to the middle like this. It's called a cupboard fold. Take the other side, fold it to the middle point, unfold, unfold, rotate, and fold the sides to the center the other way. Basically what we're doing here is just dividing it into a 4x4 grid, folding in the center, so it's like this. Now we're going to flip this over, and we're going to do what's called a blend space. We're going to take the corner and fold it to the middle like this. Kind of like you're making one of those fortune tellers, if you've ever seen those before. And we're going to fold this one in as well. And this one in here, and this one in here. Now we're going to just unfold these four flaps. Now we're going to get ready to collapse this into what's called a boat base or a pinwheel base. We're going to flip it back so the green side in this case is facing up, or the white side if you have a white paper. Paper with white side like this one. So you can see then it's already kind of going to fold the way we want it to. You're just going to collapse it down on the existing creases, so we have a square like this, and I'm just going to lay this down like this to flatten it. Now we're going to make a few more preliminary creases. This is our finished base here. We're going to put it so that the flaps are facing down, and we're going to make valley folds here, but we're going to just take this top layer, not this bottom one, bring this edge to this crease, and make a really sharp crease to the middle crease. But just to that. Now we're going to do the same on this side, bringing the top layer there to the edge and make a nice sharp crease. Repeat on the other three sides. So here's 2, 3, and once again we're bringing this edge, not the bottom, just the top part, to the crease, and the crease will start at the corner. And we're only creasing to the midpoint there. And lastly 4. And these will come in handy later for when we put the box together. As you can see, we have this sort of 4-point star. Now we're going to flip it over. We'll worry about that star later. You'll see what that's for. We're going to do something on each of these flaps. So we're going to take this flap and fold it up as far as it'll go. So you should just see the green, in this case the green. And we're going to bring this point to here so it lands on that corner. And now we're going to unfold this, leaving this side folded. Now we're going to take this side, bring this flap to the middle crease, and bring this flap also to the center crease. Now we're going to do a squash fold, but we're going to squash it a certain way. I'm going to open this up. On the next 3 I'll go a bit faster because they're all the same. We're going to open this up and we're going to flatten this down so that we look at this green area here. When you flatten this down, this green section, ignoring this pink part, this side and this side, will basically be a square. So just try to eyeball it. And then flatten the squashes. So this green area, these two should be 90 degrees as these are over here. Now the next side we're going to do and then we're going to take this flap and lift it up so that the tip comes out, and then fold it back basically where the pink meets the green there. That's going to be a heart. at the end. Now I'm going to do the other 3 flaps. I'm going to go a little quicker since they're all the same. So I'm just going to go up like this, fold this to the edge, to the point, bring it down, and we do our squash. Now this time the squash is a little easier because when I fold this down, I can just make sure that this raw edge here is straight in line with the other one on the other side, and then I know it's going to be square. Same, now this one here is a little different. Again, this one you kind of have to line up so that corner is square, like that. And then we're going to take this once again, lift it up. Number 3, flap number 3. These are the same fold on all the corners, so I'm not going to go too much into detail on the other 3 since I showed you on the first one. Fold it in once again, fold these to the middle. A lot of repetitive folding in this, so for beginners that might be a good thing because it helps you learn folds. And then once again I'm going to start with this side next to this one, and I can just see when this is straight across like this other one is. When I squash it, I know it's where I need it to be. Open, and once again just make sure these corners kind of line up. Folds up right along the edge there where the green meets the pink part, and allow the little tip underneath to pop out. That's going to be made into the heart later on. The last corner, so lift up, fold this down to there where it hits the middle, unfold it leaving it like this so it's folded under, fold these to the center, kind of like doing a kite base, and then once again I'm going to unfold. This one doesn't look quite square, I can always adjust these. Fold this one, make sure it's straight across with the other one to make a square, and it's called a squash fold. These are sometimes tricky to get to, and then this again, just adjust it. And then when you got the squash fold where you need it to be, nice and square there, you can flatten it down. And once again, we're going to flip this up like this, so you can see that going there. And now we're going to take these flaps, now this is this step. Now I'm going to just slow it down and flatten it. This point is going to be folded underneath itself, so this point will be kind of to this edge. So I'm just going to tuck it under and keep rolling it underneath until it's touching that edge, or almost touching that edge. And then once it's down there, try to make sure it's straight across if you can. That's sort of a tricky thing. And then flatten it. Same with this point. We're going to fold it underneath, inside. It doesn't tuck into any pockets, it just tucks in on itself. And so this point will end up in the middle of this edge here when I fold it under. That's 3 sides, and they're kind of angled a bit, but you just have to try to make sure it goes straight across. And now to make the folding a little easier at the end is we're going to go over the star shapes here. Remember the star shape before, and just redo them on the crease just to reinforce it, and also to fold through those flaps. On the these are creases we made at the beginning, remember? And now we're almost finished. We're going to open this up into a box now. I'm just going to go in here, fingers inside, make sure you can see this, and I'm just going to gently reverse. You have to reverse these folds, the star-shaped folds we made. There's one side of the box. There's another side, and you're just going to pop it into shape along the creases, just form the box shape. And now to make the bottom sort of more flat, I'm just going to pinch between the 2 points there, and there, and just to make it kind of a square shaped base. Just to give it kind of a square base, see that? So we have a flat base. And we're almost done. Now we just have to, that's the box essentially. Now the hearts is easy. This is actually sort of tricky. We're going to just take these little tabs here and just make a little tiny reverse folds with our fingernail on the top, and then pinch it in to form the little heart. Like that, okay? So you're going to take the next one and just take your nail, fingernail, you almost need a fingernail for this. This is probably the trickiest part just because it's so delicate, and you're just going to do a little tiny reverse fold to form the crevice of the heart. And that takes a bit of practice to do. Sometimes the box gets deformed a bit. Like that. See there? I'm just pushing down and pulling it together if I can. Make sure you can see that. Pinching it. It's quite a delicate little procedure. And that forms the little hearts. And the last one there. Sort of tricky because you have limited areas where you can crease. Kind of have to get it started. Make sure you can see that, okay? And just push it in, and then pull this up, push the sides together a bit. And then your box might be kind of deformed if you do that, so I just go around and readjust the creases, make sure everything's the right way around. And the 4 of Hearts box is complete. So it's sort of a trickier model, but it's not overly complicated. And the hearts kind of stand up a bit too. So kind of like that. And that's basically the finished model. Got the 4 hearts there, and it's a nice little candy box. So hope you enjoyed making this one. It was a sort of trickier one, but not too bad. And happy folding, and I'll see you next time.